Hello, Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram fam. Welcome. And to a Monday night gospel hour. And with me tonight, I have Chad Roland and his beautiful Christmas tree behind him.
Very nice.
Such a great background, much better than mine. Yeah, I don't have a Christmas tree in my office, so it doesn't look that cheerful in here, and the lighting is terrible. So, yeah, we'll just go with it. Let me see. That might be the best angle there for the phone. All right. Yeah, that works. I'll just hold that there, and they'll get to join us on Instagram Live and see what's happening. And I don't usually do it that way, but since it's Christmas week, I thought, why not? I wish there was a way that we could stream to Facebook and to Instagram. I mean, they're sister companies. Facebook owns Instagram, so I don't know why they won't let us cross live, but it is what it is. It is what it is. So, how have you been doing? Are y'all ready for Christmas in your household?
We are. We're ready. How about y'all?
Might as well be. Might as well be. I've actually got just a couple of more things to do, but not too much. Not too much. So for all my kids are grown now, so it's all about the grandchildren.
Sure.
And so that's actually a little bit easier because they're not in the home. So I can, do things straggly a little bit. But it's all good. I'm ready for it. I love Christmas. It's just a blessed time of year. And I just love it. It's a great time of year. Everything about it is just, it's what we needed after this year. So it's a really, really good thing that Christmas is at the end of the year. So hopefully it gets everybody in better spirits and, finding some things to be thankful for and blessed about after the rough year that we've had.
Definitely.
So, yeah. If Christmas actually came, like if there really was a Christmas in July, I don't think anybody would have enjoyed it.
The honest to God's truth, when July came and it was really bad around here, we thought about just getting out the Christmas stuff and putting it up. We really did. We didn't know if we'd be here for Christmas. We had no clue. We didn't know what was going on. And
yeah, exactly.
We considered that at one point. We really did.
Yeah, that's not really a bad idea. I didn't think about it in July, but now in hindsight, it's not really a bad idea. And I apologize for being a little bit late tonight. I tell you what, since I started doing this show on Monday night, when you try to do good things and you try to do something to bless people or for the Lord, the devil just tries so hard to stop it from happening. And I have had the worst headache today and have not been able to stop all day. Yeah. And, it's just nothing but the devil at work trying to get me to not do what I intended to do tonight.
Well,
so I'm like, no, sorry, you're not winning. I'm just going to push through and we'll make it. It's all good.
That's good.
All right. So do you want to start us off with a song?
Sure. Yeah, I could do a song for you. I'll do something. I put out an album in 2018. And the name of the album, let's see if you can see this. It's called Tired, Hungry, Homeless, Poor.
Yep.
And find this on every streaming platform and all that good stuff. And man, we had a great time recording that album. We can talk more about that in a minute. But this is this is a song that actually went up for a Texas Music Award. Didn't win it. Okay, went up for the Texas Music Awards. Totally shocked me. Didn't win it. Totally did not shock me.
But I was going to say, that's an honor in itself just to go up for it.
I was honored. I really was. I used to be a staff writer in Nashville. And on Tuesdays, I'd have a friend of mine come over. His name was Joe Hash, and one day I pitched him this idea, and he wanted to write it, so we wrote it. This is called "I Found Jesus."
All right.
I found Jesus wandering the street. He was shorter than I thought he'd be, carrying the scars from somebody else's war. He bought that. He smelled like Jack and he could use a shave. Swore he hadn't eaten in a couple days. He could kill right now for a single slice of pizza. I found Jesus in the grocery store, kneeling on the dirty floor, picking up the pennies that had slipped through others' hands. She bought applesauce in Gerber jars, put it on a food stamp card, swiped it quick and prayed no one would see it. Jesus, he ain't hard to find in the unemployment line, or in the lockup doing time for living underneath a bridge. Funny you don't draw a crowd when the Son of God walks all around us, hoping we might recognize who he is. Jesus, he ain't hard to find in the unemployment line, or in the lockup doing time for living underneath a bridge. Funny you don't draw a crowd when the Son of God walks all around us. I may never understand the reason, but I found Jesus in an old folks' home, sitting by a window all alone, waiting on a daughter who said she was gonna call. So I pulled out a pack of cards. He smiled and said, let's play some hearts. Ain't it something how little things complete us? And you might find it hard to believe this, but I found Jesus.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
I love
Thank
that.
you so much.
Yeah. I love that. And I like the message in it that, you know, it in hard times, it's so easy to find Jesus.
Amen. Yeah.
But people seem to, some people, not all, tend to easily forget when things are going great. But, you know, that's when we really should find him the easiest. Thank him for our blessings. I mean, you know, without him, I'm nothing. I'm nothing without him. And, you know, I can't imagine. I can't imagine getting through all the hard times in my life without him. So I definitely try, and not saying I'm great by no means, but definitely try in the good times to be just as present and not forget, you know. But I like that. That's a beautiful song. I like that. So you were going to tell us about more of the writing of this album.
Yeah, well, a lot of the songs, I've been stockpiling songs for a few years for it, and actually I didn't know I was going to do it, and then I started working for a little ministry down in Lubbock, Texas. And there was a girl there, a woman there named Cindy Hewlett. And we went up to Nashville and recorded an album on her. And she told me, she said, Chad, you ought to do an album. You ought to do a gospel album. And so I got thinking about it, and I thought, well, I probably have enough songs now to do one. And so I called up a friend of mine, Chris Latham, who he's just great. He's just awesome. He had produced Guy Clark's last 5 albums and had won a Grammy, and he's just an awesome Christian guy. I just love him. And he said, well, come on over to the house and we can record something. So we went over there and started working on it. And before I knew it, I had so many great musicians and players on it, and just we had a great time. One of the best things that happened for me was I had Phil Keaggy play on it, and I had been a Phil Keaggy fan since '80s. And Phil, if you don't know who he is, go look his music up. He's probably got about 30, maybe 40 albums out of material, and he's just awesome. He is so great. He's been around since he was signed back in 1970 with a rock and roll group for Decca Records called Glass Harp, and they put out 3 albums. And then in about 76, he broke away from that and started doing Christian music, and he's had several hits and just, I mean, been up for Grammys, and he's been voted guitar player's greatest acoustic player. So awesome. He is so awesome.
Yeah.
So that, they asked me if there was anybody you could get on the album, who would it be? And I said, well, it'd be Phil Keaggy. And so that dream got to come true. That was really neat. And,
I bet. Yeah.
Great. Just awesome. And then on a couple of things, I had Lauren Massetti. She was on American Idol this last season. And she was on there, and she did a duet with me and a guy named Efren White. Lauren, her newest album, which is God Made a Woman, has just received a Grammy nomination and was voted in, I think it was the New York Times, as one of the best new country albums of the year. So she awesome. She's so great. So great. So it was great. And then Efren, he was on there as well. He was a winner at Kerrville's folk festival, and he's just an awesome artist as well.
That's got to be as much fun as it is to do the album, to write the songs and do the album, but to also get to do it with so many people that you admire and look up to, or just a fan of their music. That's got to be, I don't even have a word for it, just overwhelming, just
unreal to get to work with such incredible. Yeah, it really is. I mean, to not only to be a fan and to call these guys peers, it's just awesome. It's just awesome.
Oh, yes. And let me take just a minute. I see that Lisa commented. Lisa, thank you so much for reaching out to me about Chad. I'm sure you're aware. I'm sure she probably told you. She reached out to me. I can't remember exactly when it was now, but she reached out to me and she's like, you need to check out my buddy Chad. He is great. And she had not enough good things to say about you. And so, of course, I immediately went and checked out your music, and I was like, yeah, let's have him on here. So I was so glad we were able to get it worked out, and especially to have you on before the end of the year. So, the Monday Night Gospel Show is relatively new, but to have you close out 2020 is just a great thing. And, that's 2020 is one thing that I've always loved gospel music. I tell everybody that, like, if you look at my Spotify list, you're going to be like, what? Because, it ranges from gospel all the way to Ozzy Osbourne and everything in between. I mean, I love every genre of music except classical.
Oh, God.
Sorry, can't handle that. Um, but so I've loved gospel music for a long time, specifically country gospel, bluegrass gospel, that type. And so it just made sense that I was doing the country show, that I had a gospel one as well.
Yeah.
And so, of course, I threw the idea around for a little bit, and there was that devil again trying to, oh, you don't need that. Just stick with what you're doing. You don't need to add another show. Well, nah. I'm pretty stubborn, so, I do things like I want to do them anyway.
Of course.
So I didn't listen to that little voice. And so I'm really glad because, I've already had last week's artist, AC Jones. I don't know if you are familiar with her, but she is fabulous. And then, of course, having you on this week. So I'm already starting to fill up for January and, of course, into the whole year. So
Great.
Send your gospel friends my way. We'll definitely have them on. Really excited about doing this and hearing more about I'm sure the songwriting process and making of the albums and all that's very similar, the same as any other genre of music. But is it looked at differently, like in Nashville? Or, in my head, gospel just goes with country or vice versa. They can be interchangeable. And, I can't imagine if, being an artist in Nashville, if I said, hey, I want to do a gospel album and I'm a country singer, would you get any pushback for that? Or are they like, yeah, that sounds great. Come on, let's do it.
It's just according to who you work for. I'll tell you, they're in the business in Nashville to make money. And if they feel like there's money to be made, then they'll be all for it.
Well, yeah, that makes sense. And
it's all about that cash register in Nashville.
Yeah, sad but true. Sad but true. I would imagine you probably like the Carrie Underwoods and Kelly Clarksons and Vince Gills definitely get by with doing as much gospel as they want to. Right. So I guess when you're starting out, probably your record label might not be so keen on it. I don't know, but it shouldn't be that way. I love how it's so interchangeable with country. Because they're both telling a story.
I just feel like gospel and country, like you said, I think they just walk hand in hand.
Yeah.
They are very story-oriented type songs. And right. I think writing gospel is a little different than writing country. I think when I put my cap on to write gospel, you got to be so careful. You just want you want everything to be correct. You want it to feel right. You want it to be right. You want it to be scripturally sound. You want it to be, you want it to represent Christ in the best possible light you can. Having said that, when I write country music, a lot of times I'm a Christian first, so writing country music, I always try to,
tread lightly.
Yeah, yes, definitely.
Yeah,
and try, and I try to sneak little things into my country music that are Christian oriented. My faith is always going to seep through. I think that's the way. What's that old saying? Go into the world and preach the gospel, and if necessary, use words.
Right.
Right. I think that's the way that Christ would call us to live, is to go in and be that testimony to people, no matter what field you're in, country, gospel, in the office, wherever you are.
Exactly. Yep. Let that light, if that light shines, people will see it.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that is the goal. You hope that people see that in you. Yeah, absolutely. I'm not a songwriter. I wish I was. Can't sing, can't play, can't do any of that. So I get to enjoy it through all of you. but yeah, I could see where you would have to navigate it a little bit differently. But like, I don't know, is it easier for you to write one or the other?
Well,
Like, I know, like, where does your inspiration comes? Like, how, when you get an idea to write a song, be it country or gospel, do
I think
you like, are you blank and you're like, I want to write a song, so what am I going to do it about? Or something just like a thought strikes you and you're like, oh, that would be a good song.
I think like any other songwriter, they all come in different ways, but they all come from the Holy Spirit, really. I mean, everything, even some things that don't necessarily seem like it. I still believe that God has He put it inside of me somewhere to write it out and put it out there. So I
Yeah.
mean, you had a couple of weeks ago, you had Ed on your program from Hurricane Highway,
Yeah.
and they do a song that I wrote called Heart Condition. And
Mhm.
to me, writing a song like that, it took as much energy and as much Holy Spirit kind of work as writing something like I Found Jesus. I mean, it's just
Yeah.
it's the same gift working in the same ways, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Um,
It definitely does. And with that song, just really quickly, I loved your wordplay on that.
you know,
Loved it.
Jerry Gladwell, the co-writer, he saw a um, a medicine commercial, some commercial for a medication, and so
That's right. I remember
yeah,
Ed saying that. Yes.
and he
Yeah.
called, said, "Hey, I got an idea," and I thought, man, that's great. Well, I love it. I love that idea. So
Yeah. I so love wordplay in music. I just, I don't know. I think it makes the song that much more fun. Um, if you can use
yeah,
some wordplay in there somehow.
yeah.
Um, so yeah, I love that. And I think that would be fairly easy to do in gospel music as well.
Oh,
And
yeah.
maybe, that's the way that you really draw people into it that maybe aren't big gospel music fans to start out with.
Sure. I think it's meeting people right where they are. Um, and I mean, a
That's
song
it.
on Jesus, I feel like that's meeting people right where they are, at the grocery store, an old folks' home, a person on the street. Um, it's things that we can all relate to, not only as Christians, but as people. I mean, those are things that we can see. And we've all had a loved one in a nursing home. We've all seen someone on the street. We've all seen that person in the grocery store swiping a their food stamp card. That really,
Mhm.
or that are struggling to make it. And we can
Yeah.
all, I think we've all been in those shoes, at least, or known someone that's been in those shoes for sure.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what's beautiful about music, period, is that we can touch people right where they are, and offer a little bit of hope, a little bit of
Yeah.
um, something to say, hey, you're not alone. You're not alone.
Yeah.
We all going through the struggle with you. We all see it.
Yeah. And that is the great thing about music. And I mean, especially with gospel music. If
Mhm.
you listen to gospel music and you don't feel better, something's wrong.
Right. Yeah.
Um,
Right.
but I mean, music is just healing all around. Music is just healing. I can be in the worst mood and I can just put on one of my favorite songs and immediately I feel better.
Mm.
Immediately. And like, I mean, I was doing that today because I
Mhm.
just didn't feel good. So I was like, all right, let me just play some music that will get me out of my head, literally out of my head because it was hurting. And, before long, I just found myself singing along. And, you can't help, but if it's a good song, you're going to sing along with it.
Sure.
And then, especially if it's gospel music and you're singing along with it, well, then you're not only getting the best of music, but you're worshiping at the same time.
Absolutely. You're giving God glory too. It's amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. So,
No.
it's just, I don't know. I am such a music lover. I have I try not to question God, but I would be lying if I said I didn't. Numerous times, wonder why he didn't bless me with the ability to sing or play some sort of instrument.
Well, he blessed you to with love of music, so you could reach others with your passion and your creativity and your love of music, and help others like me find audiences, and that's a blessing for us, you know.
Well, I thank you. I didn't think about it that way. That's true. And he definitely gave me the gift of gab, so I have no problem talking for an hour.
Me neither.
I never had. No, my parents told me to hush on more than a gazillion occasions. So yeah. Um, now, how old were you, or how long have you been playing music? Has it been something that you've always done, or was it later in life, or how'd that come about?
When I was a kid, well, first of all, when I was born, I had 3 different eye diseases, and
Mm.
all different. Every one of them are different things, nystagmus, and anyway, I love sports, but I could never play sports, and I loved um, I was interested in things as a kid, but it was just hard to keep up and hard to do. Music came very natural. I loved it. I mean, um, when I was very young, I'd go to my grandparents' house, and my aunt Deborah, and my aunt Tricia, and my mom, and my uncle Royce, and my uncle Jimmy had a collection of 45s uh, that were in the closet there at my grandmother's house, in this little bitty turntable, and I would take the turntable out, and I would just sit in there and play those 45s. And I'm talking 7 years old, 6 years old, just listening to all this incredible. I mean, everything from the Beatles to disco records to folk records and country records, Johnny Cash, anything that
Oh
was
yeah.
that was just there in that little box of treasures. I mean, I considered that a box of treasures. And I just, I don't know, when I got to grade school, I started writing little songs. I knew I wanted to write songs, and after a while, I knew I needed to figure out some way that I could translate those ideas musically, and I started playing guitar. And I flunked guitar class. I actually flunked it. I was, yeah, I can't keep up with the other kids reading the music, and it was just too hard. I just had to do it by my ear. I just couldn't do it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it was just too tough.
Well, and that's a whole nother talent right there, is to be able to do it by ear.
Well,
Not a lot of people can do that.
I think there are more than nowadays. But when I was young, I could pick out things on the piano and pick out chords, and I knew that this was changing to this. I don't know why I knew. I just did know. It was
Yeah.
just whatever God had given me. That was the thing God had given me. And so I just stuck with it. At age 11, 12, I started a little band. We started playing our dances, our junior high dances, and American Legions, and anywhere they would have us, bowling alley. It didn't matter. We did a bunch of stuff we actually did a bunch of stuff for the Louisiana Association for the Blind, and for disabled kids, and anything. We'd play anything. We didn't care.
Yeah.
And so music has just always been a part of my life. In 2002, I moved to Southall, Oklahoma, and joined a group called Sealed, and it was a gospel band. And we started opening for an evangelist. Oh my gosh, Dawson McAllister. We started opening for Dawson McAllister, and we were traveling around and doing that. And then I met this guy named Jerry Glidewell, who lived in Fort Smith, Arkansas. And Jerry, I just felt like we clicked immediately when we met each other. And we just started writing songs. We started writing songs, and I really found that passion again of writing, and he helped me become a better writer. I think in some ways, hopefully, God be willing, I helped him become a better writer, and we learned from each other.
Yeah.
And he just kind of took me under his wing, and he just seemed like the best fit for the kind of songs that I was writing. And we just kept writing songs. We started writing all kinds of little country songs. The first song we ever wrote really is a song called "All the Way to Heaven," and we sent it in, and we sent in a song called "The F Bomb." That was the name of the song. We sent it in to a publisher in Nashville, and it got published. They actually took it, and I thought, well, maybe, maybe there's a future here. Maybe there's something. Well, in 2010, I know this is a lot more than you wanted to know.
Oh, no, share. I love it.
In 2010, I got a call from this girl's parents who wanted to record "All the Way to Heaven" and a couple of other songs that I'd written on. And they lived in New Orleans, Louisiana. And they asked me, would I meet them in Nashville to do a little show? So I went up and I told them, I said, look, y'all need to bring CDs of this girl singing so y'all can give them out. And anyway, make a long story short, I met them up in Nashville. They handed a CD to a guy who was checking in the hotel. It was an older gentleman, and he had a guitar. And that turned into a call. He said, hey, I love these songs. Is any of the writers there? And they said, well, Chad's here, because they'd listed my name as the writer. And this guy talked to me and told me he wanted me to play some songs for his son. That turned into playing, I didn't know this, but his son was at the time was Dylan Scott, who was signed to Curb Records. I had no idea. I had no clue. Well, that turned into a staff writing job in Nashville. And so my dreams came true. I moved to Nashville. I just left whatever. I was there. I was in it. I was part. I felt like I was a part of it, man.
Yeah.
And so it was really great. Just a lot of neat things happened. Got to go to Europe a few times. Got to do some touring. Got to see places I never dreamed I would see. Music's taken me in a lot of interesting spots, for sure.
Yeah. Wow.
And
isn't it crazy how just one chance meeting with someone, and that's all it takes to get the ball rolling?
Do you know, I was in my parents' house in Dallas, Texas, and this was 2009. This is no lie. And I felt like God was in the room. You ever just get that feeling like God is in this room with me?
Mm-hmm. Oh,
and
yeah.
I swear, I just heard this voice, and it said, ask me what you want of me. It was like that. And I said, God, I want to go to Nashville and be a songwriter. I didn't ask for hits. I should ask for hits. I should have asked. I should have asked God, whatever you want to do with me, Lord, you just do it. I want you to be glorified. That's what I should have asked. But I said, God, will you take me to Nashville and be a songwriter? I want to go to. And then that next Tuesday or something, it was on a Friday or Saturday, and that next Tuesday, I was getting that call to go to Nashville. And there I was. It was just like that.
Wow.
December that happened. By February, I was in Nashville.
Wow.
Incredible.
That is just, and that's an amazing testament to what God does for people. He says that, to ask him, and you shall receive. That's not to say, hey, I want to win the lottery, God. He's not going to give me that.
Right.
But, if it's for, I firmly believe that God loves music.
Yeah, I believe that too.
So, he knows there has to be songwriters and musicians and such as that. And he gave you that talent.
Yeah.
That was his gift to you. Yeah. Was your talent for music and for singing. And, it's, you might could even go so far as to say, and I'm sure through the years, especially as a child, having these eye diseases were probably difficult on you. And I'm sure that you went through time saying, why me, God? Why? And maybe it was so he could give you these other gifts.
I firmly believe that. I mean, this is what he's given me, so this is what I'll take. You know,
Yeah.
this is I was dealt, so I'll play it the best of my ability.
Yeah, yeah. And I think that's I'll say this and then I'll have you sing another song and then we'll talk some more. But I think that's where a lot of people have trouble, is just accepting who they are and being happy with who they are, because that's exactly the way God made you and exactly the way that he wants you. And God doesn't make mistakes.
No, he does
So
not.
even as disappointed as I am that I can't sing, dance, or play an instrument, that's okay. That wasn't his plan for me. So, he had different plans in mind for me. And I have been blessed enough now. By career, I'm a registered nurse, but been disabled since 2013. So now I'm getting to do my second love. So, I had years of getting to work as a nurse, and now I'm getting to do this. I'm in the music business, just not, like you would typically think of someone being in the business, but I'm still there. I'm in the middle of it, and I get to, enjoy the up and comers that haven't gotten so big and so famous yet that they don't have time for people like me.
They're looking for their big break. We all are. Yeah.
Yeah, so I get to enjoy that, and I get to see these people before they become, those big people. My son actually said to me the other day, because we were talking about Taylor Swift and, the 2 albums she's put out this year and how crazy it is. But I actually saw Taylor years ago when she first started out. She was with George Strait.
Yeah.
It was before anybody really knew who she was. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'd never heard of her until I saw her that night. And I remember when I saw her that night, I was like, she's going to be good.
Oh, yeah.
That girl's going somewhere. Had I known then what I know now, woo, Lordy, it's crazy how, I think people forget that she's just a normal person too.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she started out nowhere, just like everybody else did that had to work their way up, And so, yeah, it's just, it is really neat to get to be a part of it like that. I think that would be the same. My whole angle there was, I think that would be the best part of songwriting, that when you write a song and you give it to another artist and they love it and you can tell they love it and you see how fans respond to it, then you're just like, okay, yeah, this is why I do this.
It's the best feeling ever. That's the reason I do it. I love to watch other people take something that was given to me and make their art out of it. I love it.
Yeah.
To appreciate it. I can't, as a songwriter, there is no higher calling than that, really. True.
Yeah.
Other than the Lord, but to see that is just, oh man, when people get what you're trying to do and they nurse it and they take it as their own, and then others love it too. Oh my God. It's really beautiful. It's really beautiful.
And I really, really think that songwriters just are not recognized enough for their part in this song.
On the golden bowl, let me tell you.
I mean, come on now. If it wasn't for the songwriters, the song wouldn't exist. We need to give them a little bit more credit.
I know it,
So, kudos to you. Credit is to you for these wonderful songs that you have written and just handed over to other people to put their spin on it. And you have, correct me is it 2 songs that are up for Grammys that you wrote for Hurricane Highway?
Just one. Just
one. Okay. I know they've got 2 that are up. I wasn't sure if you were the writer on both of them or just okay. So on Heart Condition, that one is up for a Grammy, correct?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
All right. Well, I wish I had some influence over that one.
Yeah, me too.
I would say that one deserves it. Yeah. All right. What, you want to play something else for us?
Sure. Yeah, I didn't know what to play. I thought about either playing something from the album. You know, we've got a cut coming out on T. Graham Brown, who is a country.
Yeah, I know him. Okay. Well, I mean, I don't know him, but
he cut
who you're talking about.
Yeah, he cut a gospel album. Just here recently with my good friend Bobby Lester, who's also another artist who's signed, and they did a duet. And I thought about playing that, but I'm kind of leaning now towards something from the album. I think I'm gonna play something from the album. Okay, I wrote this song with a girl named oh man, I'm gonna get this wrong. Her name is Liz, but I can't think of her last name for some reason. I'm having trouble, and of course I don't have the names in here. But I wrote it with a girl named Elizabeth, and Elizabeth, forgive me. I cannot think of her name. You know, I've never met this girl in person, but she brought this to my friend Jerry Gladwell, who brought it to me, and we sat down and wrote it. And this is about addiction. Stood on a bridge by the bayside, but I forgot to jump in. I got troubles on the inside. Man, I could really use a friend. I'm not addicted, I just can't quit. I'm not broken, I just don't fit. My will isn't gone, I just misplaced it. It's hanging on the cross beside grace. Couldn't kick the ball and chain. Man, I was doing time. One more dose to kill the pain. Oh, what a dangerous line. I'm not addicted, I just can't quit. I'm not broken, I just don't fit. My will isn't gone, I just misplaced it. It's hanging on the cross beside grace. Jesus, take me as I am. Oh, this wounded heart, can you make it whole again? Savior, there's healing in your touch. Wash me in your blood. Never needed you so much. Save me. I was addicted. Thank God I quit. Was torn and broken, just of a misfit. My will was gone, my hope was faded, but your love is strong. My scars are faded beside grace. Beside grace.
You did it again, my friend. Powerful. Powerful. Yeah. I really like that one. And a topic that is so prevalent. So prevalent this day and time. Oh, Lord. I have several loved ones that have been taken by addiction, and it's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
It's heartbreaking. And I thought to myself as you were singing that, if they could have just said those words.
Yeah.
You know, if they could have just 5 words. God, take me as I am. You know, because he doesn't care if you're in the middle of the addiction. He can save you from it.
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
But you have to ask. You have to reach out for that help. Yeah. And I'm a huge, huge, huge advocate of mental health awareness.
Yeah.
And there's just such a stigma that is attached to that.
Yeah.
That prevents people from reaching out.
Yeah.
And then sadly, there's this group, it's not all, it's this group of Christians that will tell an addict, oh, just pray it out.
Yeah.
Pray it out. I'll pray for you. That's all you need.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. That's not all you need.
Yeah.
God is in the miracle business and God works miracles every single day. Yes.
Yeah.
But a true addict, God created rehabilitation centers for a reason.
Sure.
He gave people the brains to be counselors and drug addiction specialists for a reason.
Of course.
So I will not get off on my tyrant on that anymore, but thank you for that song. That means so much. So much to anyone that is suffering from addiction or has a loved one that has or is. I love when it's put out there in song, because that's another way that people may hear what they need to hear that otherwise they might not have.
I think that the thing that people need to understand is that God will meet you and love you right where you are.
Yeah.
And my dad always said, you don't have to take a bath to come to Christ. You just come as you are. You
exactly.
Just come as you are. And then here's the most beautiful part of it, is that God is not going to leave you where you are. He wants to take you where he wants to take you.
Yeah.
He loves you too much to leave you where you are. He wants you where you are. But then he's going to, if you allow him to have his will in your life, he wants to take you to do other things, to do great things for his kingdom.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I think God is just kind of, I think he takes the junk in our lives and just makes beautiful art out of it, really. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And that's sometimes where the most beautiful art comes from.
Right. Those broken places. Those.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And art in whatever form that may be, whether it's music or literal artwork or, like painting or drawing or whatever, or just the things that you do out here in the world that you put off to other people for other people to see. Yeah, that's just amazing. I love that. I am definitely a new forever fan of yours. Yeah, God, Lisa, thank you. And that was another reason that I created this show, was to meet new gospel artists, not just country artists, but new gospel artists. And there just needs to be more of that goodness just put out there too, especially on social media. And until somebody on social media tells me I can't, I'm going to, because you can get on your Instagram or your Facebook any time of the day and see all kinds of junk.
Yeah.
All kinds of junk.
Yeah.
From junk to just junk. And I just would rather fill it up with music.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you don't like music, don't follow me, but because that's what I'm all about. But yeah, fill it up with music and God and all the things that come with it. And yeah, it just doesn't get much better than that. So yeah, I love it. All right. Well, let's have some just fun questions, and then we'll let you take us out with one last song.
Okay.
But just some fun questions. If you could only sing or write, I know what you're going to say. I should not have even bothered asking this one. Sing or write, what would it be?
I would write. I mean, I really love it. I don't know how much singing I could do anyway, so I'd love writing.
Oh, I think you're pretty great at it. But yeah, most of the artists, well, I have had several to say write, but most of them are definitely sing. So you had your day out performing on the road and performing with evangelists. Did you like performing live or like in the studio recording the album?
I really, my favorite part of music really is the writing process. I love and so that's my favorite part. Now, I do enjoy performing live. I like it. Fun. But I think probably the studio. I really love that. I love watching things come to life.
Yeah.
But I like watching people's, well, I can't see them, but I like feeling the people's reaction of something that I had something to do with. I love that too. It's just great. I love music, period.
Yeah.
I just love it. I don't know. Out of those two.
Yeah, you just love it all the way around. It doesn't matter what.
I really do. I really do.
I hear you. I got you on that one. Have you always had like your original songs that you write, or do you cover other songs as well?
I cover songs time to time, but the truth is I'm not a very good musician. So that's one of the other reasons I like playing my own. I can screw those up. Nobody will know.
I like that answer. I like that one. Yeah, that would be me. Yeah, I could.
Right.
Yeah. If you mess it up, nobody knows.
Okay. You mess up Led Zeppelin, everybody knows.
Right. Right. Hey, I wonder, is Stairway to Heaven the first song that everybody learns on a guitar?
It was one of the first songs I ever learned.
Right?
It was. It was one of the
now,
first.
When I was a teenager, I begged for a guitar. And I did get one Christmas, and I had this beautiful, beautiful Squire electric guitar. Loved it. I was going to take lessons. I was going to be like the best guitarist. I was going to be a female guitarist in a rock band. I was a 70s baby, 80s teenager. So, that was back when the girl bands were happening. I was going to join them. Right. Didn't happen. I did not have the attention span to learn the guitar. I learned how to play Stairway to Heaven, and that was it. I was done.
What was your favorite 70s, 80s girl bands? Go-Go's? Did you like the Go-Go's? Bangles? Did you like did you like Heart? And did you like
Loved Heart?
The Runaways?
Loved Heart.
Yeah.
Fleetwood Mac.
Stevie Nicks. Big fan.
Stevie Nicks. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Big fan of Stevie Nicks.
Yeah.
Joan Jett.
Oh yeah, the Blackhearts. Oh man, she's awesome.
Incredible. I'm telling you, there were some great ones. There was nothing like 80s music.
Yeah. Yeah.
80s was the best decade, hands down. To date.
Gotcha.
And I've heard, because of course, being a 70s baby, 80s teenager, and it was weird in my house because my mom was all beach music, like Commodores, Temptations. So that's what she liked. And then my dad was country and bluegrass.
Okay.
Of course, as a child, I hated what my mom liked. I hated what my dad liked. And me and my sister, of course, so we were, the 80s music, and we were, classic rock and that kind of thing.
Right.
AC/DC, Led Zeppelin, and then all that. It wasn't until I was older that I gained an appreciation for the 60s music and this beach music and, the early 70s, and then country and, of course, and bluegrass. So now I love it all.
It's so weird. Our taste evolved and they change, and then you find all this beautiful music that you never really knew was so great. It's like,
yeah,
really great music here too. It's just cool to expand your horizons and find those. I mean, the Beach Boys, I just think they're just geniuses. I think Brian.
I love the Beach Boys.
The Temptations, I love the Temps. I just think they're awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, the Beach Boys, Temptations, and the Commodores.
Yeah, Lionel Richie's a genius.
Is he not?
Yeah.
Oh,
real
gosh. Which I have to try to remind myself, like whenever I can't remember if it was last season. Well, it happens every season, surely. There's somebody that comes in there that has not a clue who Lionel Richie is.
Wow.
And I'm like, what? Are you kidding me?
Oh my goodness.
I'm like, were you born under a rock and stayed there, or what? But then I'm like, okay, I have to remember, I'm closer to his age than they are. And so it's okay if they don't know who he is. I'm sure their parents do. But somebody came in there and
if they're in the music, they should know. They should
know who Lionel Richie is, especially if they're going to go on American Idol. I don't know. But a lot of that is scripted, so
oh yeah
that might have been in the script.
Yeah,
who knows? But it's that kind of music is just amazing. I remember my dad took us when we were younger to actually see the Beach Boys.
Oh wow.
And I saw them in Washington, D.C. I grew up about 45 miles south of D.C. Gotcha. So we weren't far from there, but it was a 4th of July outdoor concert. It was this huge event. And I will never forget it. I will never forget it. That was just, that was one of those moments that was like, and I didn't fully appreciate it at that time. And now I'm looking back and I'm like, my dad took me to see the Beach Boys. Yeah. A lot of people would kill for that.
My God.
So I mean, it's great. Excuse me. All right. So during quarantine, I cannot believe we've avoided this whole hour and we've barely talked about quarantine.
Isn't it wonderful?
I know, right? And we're still not going to talk about COVID. We're just going to talk about what you did during quarantine.
Okay. All right.
All right. So did you binge watch? Are you a TV watcher first? Did you binge watch?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
What were you binge watching?
My During quarantine, what did I binge watch?
Now, everybody started out with the Tiger King, except me. I did not watch it. Did you watch the Tiger King?
I still haven't seen it.
I have not either.
My mom is gonna shoot me because she loves Tiger King. She loves.
We just didn't watch it, and we got into other stuff, and I just couldn't watch it. I mean, of course, we had to watch Outer Banks.
Yeah. Okay.
I think if anybody is a Charles Eston fan, they watched Outer Banks.
Mm-hmm.
But did you watch Outer Banks?
No.
You're gonna have to watch it.
Okay.
You're gonna have to watch it because in that, and I just want to call Charles. I want to call him Deacon. He's Deacon to me. He's not Charles Eston.
Gotcha.
But in Nashville, he was a nice guy. He was a good guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
In the Outer Banks, not so much.
Not much.
And I was like, seriously, why did y'all have to make him be a bad guy? No, this is not okay. I had a hard time with that. But yeah, we definitely spent a lot of time binge watching things and cooking new things. Or actually, it's when I taught my youngest son how to cook some, so he could survive when he went off to college. So, what is your go-to food?
Go-to food? Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Well, I grew up in Shreveport, Louisiana, so I love Cajun food.
Ooh.
And so, I mean, anything Cajun is great. I love fish of any kind. And then I like Mexican food. I live in Texas now, so I like Tex-Mex food. And I love all that. That's definitely a go-to. I like Italian and Chinese, and I'm not picky. I love food. If you're going to set it down, I will eat it.
Yeah, that's my problem.
I like seafood. If I see it, I'm going to eat it.
Hey, yes, we are kindred spirits for sure. Now, you lived in Louisiana. I love Louisiana.
Yeah.
Went to New Orleans for the first time ever 2 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
We were headed out or was it 3 years ago? I don't know. We were headed out on a cruise and leaving out of New Orleans. And I was like, all right, I don't know if I'll ever get back to New Orleans again. So we're taking a couple of days there before we get on the boat.
Yeah.
Loved it. Loved it. And I was like, all right, we have to stay in the French Quarter. Because if I'm going to New Orleans, I want to stay in the French Quarter. I don't want to stay in some fancy hotel that you could stay at anywhere.
Nope.
I want that French Quarter style hotel.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what we got. We stayed in, and I didn't fully realize the extent of it until we got there. I knew it was in the French Quarter, and I researched the area, so it was in a decent area. It was, people were saying on the reviews that it was said to be haunted. I was like, cool. All right. Yes, I'm all about this.
Mm-hmm.
And we get there, and it's actually on the haunted tour. So we're sitting out on our balcony in the evening or any time of the day, morning, whatever. The tours go all day long.
Oh, yeah.
And they would stop right in front of our balcony, and the tour guide telling the story of why our hotel was haunted.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, oh, I am loving every bit of this. But I didn't see anything.
Yeah.
Didn't see anything, didn't hear anything. Yeah. Nothing to make me think it was haunted. But then again, I believe in the spirit world to a certain extent. I'm not like, I don't think I'm going to, but maybe that's why. I don't know. Maybe no ghost came before me because he knew I wouldn't be freaked out by it. I don't know, but I was disappointed. And it was funny because everybody was like, you're disappointed that something freaky didn't happen? I'm like, yeah. I was waiting on, the door to open by itself or something.
Right.
It never happened. But anyway, I loved New Orleans. It was fabulous. And it's definitely on our list of places that we want to go back to.
Oh, it's great. New Orleans, the culture there, I mean, to me, the air kind of just hangs over the city.
Yeah.
You take a knife out and cut it with everything that's in the air. It just feels thick with music, art, possibilities, culture, food, people. I mean, everything just feels like it's just kind of hanging. All that history is just kind of hanging.
Oh, yeah.
And I love I love it there. I always feel alive when I get there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It's
Absolutely.
one of my favorite places to go.
I understand that wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad that we went, but it's like we did not have enough time there.
Yeah.
I mean, we did the best that we could, and we shoved in as much as we could in 2 days. And, you know, I mean, of course, we made it to Bourbon Street. Lord, we walked all over the French Quarter.
Yeah.
And I was definitely blown away by Bourbon Street.
Oh yeah.
And when it gets dark, you don't want to be there. There's no telling what will come out to play when it's dark.
Oh yeah, it's fun. It's a fun area.
Oh yeah, it was so fun.
There's a great little bar down there. Not to advocate bars on the gospel show, but there's a great little bar down on Bourbon that they play nothing but Dixieland jazz in. I'm trying to name of it. I think it's called Frizzell's or something like that. And
yeah. I think I remember seeing that.
It is so fun. It's just fun to go in there and listen to that music just right there. It's so great. It's like, oh man.
I was eating that up while we were there. The jazz, anywhere that we walked by that I could hear that New Orleans jazz music.
Yeah.
I was just, and there's jazz, and then there's New Orleans jazz.
There's Dixieland. That's right. There's jazz and then Dixieland. That's correct.
And yeah, I was loving every second of it. And the street performers.
Oh, wow.
That blew me away.
Talent out there. Dancers, painters, jugglers.
Yes.
Musicians.
You name it, you see it.
Oh yeah, everywhere. It's great.
It's great American melting pot. I loved it. We definitely want to go back sometime and spend like a week there.
It's great.
Just so we can just see everything.
Be sure you go Frenchman Street and go down there. It's really neat. The Frenchman.
It was great. We're definitely going back. I'd love to go like during football season and go see a Saints game.
We've been to see a Saints game. It's great.
Have you?
Great. Fantastic. I'm a big Saints fan.
They're definitely they're in my top 3.
Really? I love the Saints. I was so disappointed they lost to Kansas City. I was heartbroken on this last loss. But big love Drew Brees, love Michael Thomas, love all those guys. I just think they're all Alvin Kamara, love all that.
Yeah. I am a Saints fan for sure. I have to remain true and blue and silver to my Cowboys.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well,
yep.
Hey,
hey, you're in Texas. You should be good with that.
I love it. They won this last week, and maybe they can get themselves into the playoffs. We're kind of hoping. We got our fingers crossed that they'll make it. Yeah.
I'm not going to watch the next game. I'm not going to watch because when I watch, for some reason, they lose.
Well,
I'm like a jinx to them or something. I don't know. But my ultimate dream now is to come to Texas. I've never been to Texas. I want to come to Texas. I want to see a game at AT&T Stadium. I want it to be the Cowboys against the Redskins.
Oh, nice. Great.
Now, remember, I told you I grew up 45 miles south of D.C. Yeah. So can you imagine growing up there being a Cowboys fan?
Oh, gosh. No. No, especially during that time, man.
Exactly. During the 70s and 80s.
They hated each other. Oh man, John Riggins, when he played for the Redskins, oh my gosh, what a player.
But at least then, the Cowboys were definitely America's team back then, and we usually came out on top. So it was all good back then. But I mean, I will forever and always be a Cowboys fan. But of course, then I have to pull for Tennessee, and I love New Orleans. So that's why I said they're like in my top 3. I don't really have like a second favorite. It's just like
Carolina was up there. Aren't you in Carolina?
I am, but I'm not a Carolina fan.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, when you said that blue, I thought, oh, you're going to say
Lord, no. But see, this is where you have to take my age into consideration. I was a huge football fan long before the Panthers were ever in existence.
Yeah.
And so I was not bailing on my Cowboys just because there was a team here.
Sure.
I mean, if I could grow up 45 miles south of DC being a Cowboys fan, I can live in Carolina and not pull for them.
Well, my dad, I guarantee he's listening to this and he's happy for a couple of reasons. Number 1, that you're a Cowboys fan. Number 2, that you called them Washington Redskins. He'll love that because he hates calling them the Washington football team. He hates.
I will forever do that. And you know what? I am extremely, extremely proud of my Lumbee Indian heritage.
Me too. Well,
I am. You wouldn't tell it, but my mother's side of the family, my mother is full-blooded Lumbee Indian.
Nice.
So I'm not offended by it. Be the Redskins. I don't care. I mean, I haven't polled my whole family to see, how many of them are bothered by it or not. But I mean, it's been, I don't know how long the Redskins have been in existence, but at least 50 years.
At least. And longer.
I mean, way longer than that. That'd only be 1970 because I'm 50. So 75 years at least, however long.
Yeah.
So why just now? I mean,
the world has changed. This world's just changed. I don't know. The world's.
I mean, I'm sorry if I offend anybody. I don't mean to, but
me neither.
I love all people. I don't care what their race is. I don't care what color they are. I don't care how tall, how short. I don't care. I love all people.
Well,
so
we definitely have in heritage in our family. I mean, we have a Cherokee Indian in our family, and it's never bothered us, the Redskins or the Chiefs or they've just always been the names of the teams. So it never bothered me. But
are the Chiefs changing their name too?
Well, I heard that Cleveland Indians are going to change their names, but I don't know if that's true.
Well, then, what's to stop all these animal activist people from coming out and saying, well, I don't want Jacksonville to be the Jaguars.
Right.
Or I don't want Carolina to be the Panthers.
I don't know.
It's just ridiculous. That's ridiculous. Anyway.
I'm a Steelers fan too, so.
Oh, we were doing so well.
Well,
you just ruined it, Chad. You just ruined it. It's all right. I'll forgive you that one.
Well.
Oh goodness, that's funny. No, my husband's nephew is a huge Steelers fan.
Yeah.
And so he gives me a hard time all the time. So it's all good. Oh, that's crazy. All right. Well, let's hear. I hate to end this. I've had so much fun talking with you and getting to know you and hearing your music. I hate for it to end, but it is that time.
Well,
what would you like to close us out with?
Well, I was thinking about doing a Christmas song.
Yeah.
This is not necessarily a gospel song.
That's right. Hey, Christmas is Christ.
Okay. All right.
Christmas.
All right. Well, Lisa had kind of talked to me and said, "Well, you may not want to do this song, but I think I do want to do it." And it does mention alcohol in the song, but I want to do it anyway.
It's okay. It's a Christmas song. I'm good with that.
Okay. All right. I wrote this with my good friend Amy Johnson, she has just been a new writer that I've kind of discovered, and we just had a great time writing songs together, and this is called Fruit Cake.
All right.
Blink on, blink off, Daddy's fighting them Christmas lights, and brothers shooting Rudolph somewhere in the night, and Granny's in the window chain smoking menthols, but you're my favorite fruitcake of all. Now sister's got a boyfriend, he's a little weird, in his velvet Elvis jacket and his bushy beard. Last week he got arrested chasing Santa in the mall, but you're my favorite fruitcake of all. Now I hate to admit, oh, but I've got a bit of coconuts on that old family tree. Still you hang around like a star in Tinseltown. Girl, it's love or it's insanity. Now I hate to admit, oh, but I've got a bit of coconuts on that old family tree. Still you hang around like a star in Tinseltown. Girl, it's love or it's insanity. Tick-tock, the clock is running out on a Christmas Eve, and Mama's stealing spray cheese and some batteries. Papa Tillman spiked the eggnog with his bathtub alcohol, but you're my favorite fruitcake of all. I took my medication, so tonight let's deck the halls, 'cause you're my favorite fruitcake. Honey, you're my favorite fruitcake. You're my favorite fruitcake of all.
Oh, goodness. Was not sure where you were going with that at all when it started out fruitcake.
That's right.
And I quickly got it. That's cute. I love that.
Thank you. Thank you.
We got to have a fun Christmas, a fun Christmas song. I love all the serious Christmas songs and the traditional Christmas songs, but you got to have some fun ones too.
It has to be in the rules.
Exactly, right?
That's right.
Yeah. All right. Well, Chad, thank you so much for being on tonight. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
This is
and you'll have to come back and do it again next year.
Maybe I can be on the country one next time.
We'll go ahead and schedule you on that one, and then you can do all the country stuff. We'll get both sides of you. That sounds great.
A little
all right,
rock and roll.
Hey, that works.
A little.
I have been known on the show to just tell people, if you have a favorite song you'd like to cover, just play it.
Yeah.
And whether it's country or whether it's whatever. I just let them go for it because I love all kinds of music, so it's good. I love it.
Yeah.
But thank you so much for being on. I hope you have a very Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
And to everyone out there, everyone that tuned in and watched us live on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram, and anyone that watches the show later. Thank you for You know, I can't talk anymore. It's time to go. Thank you for tuning in and watching. I wish everyone a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Monday Night Gospel will be back in January 2021. Y'all have a blessed night. Stay safe, stay healthy, and be kind.
Yeah.
Good night.